Hello and welcome to the XD Indexer training from Ormex Systems. This video will teach you how to home and access and set up jogging. In this video, I will cover the home and jog branches of the project tree. The home branch allows you to program what the axis will do when it is told to go home. The jog branch sets up jog normal and jog fast speeds, as well as acceleration and deceleration. Let's start with homing. Your first decision is to select the homing mode that fits your application. Options include homing to a dedicated home sensor, home to an overtravel sensor, home to the marker pulse or encoder reference, or set home as wherever the axis is at the moment. To better understand how to program a homing routine, let's make up a hypothetical situation. Let's say that the indexer controls a 24-inch linear actuator that has end-of-travel sensors at both ends of the actuator, but no home switch. For application-specific reasons, after homing, the axis needs to be centered on the actuator, and the center location needs to be reassigned as 0 position so that the axis can be commanded positive 12 inches in the forward direction and negative 12 inches in the reverse direction. The home routine breaks down like this. First, the axis should move in the reverse direction at a controlled speed. When the end-of-travel sensor is reached, the axis comes to a stop. Then, the axis moves in reverse 1 inch to get off the sensor and approaches the end-of-travel sensor again at a very low speed to see the edge of the sensor very accurately. Once the rising edge of the end-of-travel sensor is determined, the axis moves 12 inches in reverse to the center of travel and sets that position to 0 inches. Now let's take a look at how to program that. First, select Home to Negative Limit for the homing mode. Select the reverse direction so the axis searches for home in the correct direction. Set the control speed, XL and decel. Enable the next section by checking the box that says, Then perform accurate home. Select a slow speed for the accurate home move and select back off and slow home to the same sensor. Set the back off distance to 1 inch. So far, we have told the axis to home in the reverse direction to the negative end-of-travel sensor. When reached, it will back off 1 inch and slowly move towards the sensor again. Now we want to enable the next section by checking Then perform home offset and type -12. This means that after the accurate home is complete, the axis will back off 12 inches to get to the start position in the center of the actuator. This offset also has the added option of accounting for the latched position of the home sensor from the previous step, regardless of whether that was the initial home or accurate home. When an axis homes, it moves at a constant velocity until it sees a home sensor, then decelerates to stop. This stop position is past the rising edge of the sensor and therefore is only so accurate. This checkbox allows you to electronically compensate for this small distance by keeping track of the exact position of the rising edge of the home sensor. After the axis does the offset move to the center of travel, the Then Set Position To allows you to assign a position for this location. In our example, this position is reassigned as 0 inches. There are a few other options here that may come up in your application. Back at the top, you can set the indexer to home automatically when the axis is enabled. You can also set the indexer to ignore index inputs on the drive until the axis is homed. A home limit distance can be specified so that if the axis moves a predetermined distance without finding the home sensor, it faults the axis. Finally, at the bottom of the screen, you can enable a chain to link the end of the home routine to another motion automatically. That means after completing the above home routine, it will jump into the motion table and begin executing motions. Finally, the jog branch allows you to set up a normal and fast jog speed as well as the XL and decel to use when jogging. If we look back at the input assignment, we can see how to use the normal and fast jog speeds. In this input assignment, input 7 or 8 will jog the axis forward or reverse. I can add jog fast to input 9, which means that when input 9 is on, I can trigger input 7 or 8, and I will jog fast forward or jog fast reverse. If the application dictates only jogging fast in the forward direction, I can save an input by putting both jog forward and jog fast together on input 7. Now when input 7 comes on, the axis will jog fast in the forward direction. When input 8 comes on, the axis will jog at a normal speed in the reverse direction. This concludes this instructional video. For more information about how to use the XD indexer, visit us at ormec.com.